That's not enough. That is not enough. That's gonna be exactly 13. And we got there. And this is the game that took us to Master. Literally exactly lethal. Yeah, GG's. Wow. I think forcing that Poke Stick out of them might have actually made a difference, right? Because he taps them out of, like, I guess if they had a Troll Shot, it was always better to play the Troll Shot, but wow, what a way to get lethal. Exactly 13. GG's opponent, and there we go. We get the Masters. Wow, that was a good game. That was a great game. Hey everyone, Sirturmund here again. And today I wanted to bring you some Tristana gameplay, and more Tristana, because Tristana actually has been very fun, even though her buff seems to be very minimal. So more Tristana gameplay with Tristana Shadow Owls, which is a deck that kind of started popping up over the past couple of weeks. Now, as you saw with the title of today's video, I actually took this deck all the way to Masters, which is pretty solid. I think this deck is actually kind of cool. So the idea is that you're able to kind of play like a Tristana Bandle City Swarm type of deck, while also having access to some of the control-ish tools from Shadow Owls, but really not even that much, right? The only control tools that we're playing are really Vengeance, Quietus, one Haste Spike, right? For the most part, what's really important is access to Atrocity. So this deck, unlike the Tristana Noxus versions, which is relying more on like the burning the opponent out with like Decimates and like Reveler's Feast, this one is just taking advantage of the fact that Tristana gets really big to settle for like a big Atrocity that just wins you the game. So this is kind of very close to it, just kind of finishing the game in a different way. Now, how does this deck work? Well, you want to just go really wide early on. Tristana, the Mayor, the Teemos, the Grandfather Phase, the Minions, Grumble's Lock, all these cards help you kind of get like a super wide board, level up Tristana really quickly, and then have your units get impact as well and get additional power, especially if you have Tristana or the Grandfather Fate in the field, to start putting a lot of pressure into the opponent and slowly, and not even slowly, like really quickly wither them down to less than 10 HP or even less, forcing them to have to take a lot of trades because your little small Bandle City units are going to get really big, especially if you have, again, both the Grandfather and the Tristana on the field. So you're able to kind of just rush them down and overwhelm them and just kind of find lethal that way. And then eventually you draw the Atrocity, and even if the opponent's at 5 HP, a lot of your units are going to be able to just have the Atrocity there and just finish the game that way as well. There's not a lot more to say with this deck. Just swarm the opponent's board and just stack. So let's kind of just jump right ahead and see how I do and how I take this deck to Masters. But before that, if you do like our content and this video, make sure to like it below and subscribe to us. We post LOR videos every single day. That way you never miss out. And I'm really trying to get to 6,000K. So help us out, get to that goal. But enjoy the games, and I'll see you at the end of the video for some mulligan tips and more strategy tips. Enjoy. In this matchup, we're going against Twisted Fate Norra. So it is kind of like an elusive deck, and also plays Shuffle for some reason, which is always annoying. We do have the Quietus and the Tristana. So Quietus is going to be really good against Norra. Teemo, I think, is also very nice. I don't hate playing the Teemo here. At least it lets me get like a early wonder. I mean, it is going to die to like a Poke Stick, which is a little bit frustrating, but I think it's fine. It's going to let me advance the Tristana cheaper. Vengeance? No, I guess we can do it on the Shelf Fork. Okay, opponent doesn't even go with a Poke Stick. Interesting. If the opponent lets me get one more hit with the Teemo, then we're going to have the Mushroom Cloud enable. So they need to be careful. We could play Tristana, I guess. We still have access to the Quietus. I'm kind of concerned, though, of giving them this Tristana this easily. Okay, so the opponent just ended up getting the parley from... Right, let's go Tristana then. Let's go Tristana, and let's play the Teemo next turn. That way the Teemo can also get the +1. If the opponent has like a Twisted Fate, then that is a little bit annoying, but I mean, it's not impossible for us to be able to still do okay with that. Twisted Fate, red card, and then into drop the bomb here, right? Will be my guess. So for me to play around drop the bomb, I should probably just attack with Tristana right now and just push that 4 damage. If the opponent blocks and we only push 1, it's still good enough for me. We could go for the Buster Shot, but I think the Buster Shot is better off to be kept for the Shelly. But I still want to be able to Quietus this now, because if the opponent gets Shelly, then they can buff the Twisted Fate up. It is a problem if the opponent has a second Twisted Fate. Oh, it's heavy metal. Yeah, so heavy metal, drop the bomb. They had definitely had a lot of answers for that. This Buster Shot has to be for the Shelly, though. Every single time. We could go Tenor now, obviously, which is always nice. We have Vengeance for the Shellfolk. There's the Shelly. There's our Buster. If I go here first, actually, yeah, let's go here first. Oh, no, we already played Shadow Owls, right? We did already play Shadow Owls, so it doesn't matter. So for some reason, I thought we hadn't played Shadow Owls yet. But we did when we played the Quietus. So the spells does count as well. So I took 3 damage for no reason. Again, we want to keep 6 mana for Vengeance on the Shellfolk here. We have another Buster Shot for a second Shelly. Octopus, okay. I'm gonna let them prank it. I'm gonna let them prank it. There we go. Now we go second Buster Shot. There's the second Shelly out of the way. Great. We still have the Vengeance for the Shellfolk. Even if the opponent pranks the Vengeance, it will only be 8. We got another Tristana. That's pretty nice. We can actually play both Tristana and Vengeance if the opponent doesn't prank the Vengeance. But they have a pretty good chance of hitting that Vengeance right here. If they're gonna just go like this, then I guess we can go like this. Because, I mean, now the only problem is gonna be a third Shelly. If the opponent has a third Shelly, then this is a little bit annoying. Otherwise, we can just Poke Stick the Conchologist. They also have a Drop the Bomb. That's important. Let's go here. So they got the Drop the Bomb for the Conchologist. Let's go here in case that we get another unit that we can just buff up right away. Glimpse is not bad either. And maybe the opponent has another Twisted Fate is what they're looking for. Yeah, there you go. The downside here is that if I play the Glimpse now, then that means I'm still going to be hitting the Bass Burner. Right? Which I don't think is correct. So I think I'm just going to go here, just get rid of the blockers, and then attack with everything again next turn. Yeah, because the gold card doesn't actually target, if I actually go for the Glimpse, then I'm still in a bad spot. We still have the Vengeance for the Shellfolk, which I think is important. Let them kill my Bass, that's cool. We still push 3 damage here. There it is. Boom. They just stuck like that, unfortunately for us. But we cannot let them get the value from this prank. We don't have a second Vengeance though, which could be a problem. I like the Grandfather Fae, and I like kind of just buffing up my units again. Probably the one thing I should do is actually... I should probably wait. I mean, I already drew 2 Tristanas, so I mean, the third one is not going to matter. But we don't have a way to actually kill the second Shellfolk. We can aloof Travelers. The opponent also plays the... Ooh, Portapalooza. That actually sucks. So Samurai Aloof is slightly worse. Okay, they got both portals anyways. Oh, wow, look at that. That's nice. Look at that hole. Look at that roll, right? Challenger into an... They had to hit both portals. And then the first portal had to be the Broadwind. And for this to work exactly how they have it working. I'm just gonna Glimpse now. I'm just gonna Glimpse now and just get my value. Sometimes opponent gets the high roll, they get the high roll. It sucks not putting any damage on the Broadwind, but I think that's fine. Let's go Aloof.
You dropped something.
I dropped everything.
Mind Meld out of the way. Actually not a good thing for us. The Mind Meld doesn't really do anything for them. Double Trouble from Conchologist. That's fine. Let's go second Aloof here. Heavy Metal. Okay, so their hand is pretty cheap. So that's a Heavy Metal was the most expensive card in their hand. That's pretty good. Group Shot, okay. That way I don't have a Fearsome blocker, I guess, for the Horror. The Broadwind is still the big deal, and the opponent gets a free blocker here because this happens first. I need the Tristana. or the Atrocity. Either one will be pretty good. I like the Pen of Pain. Keeps it alive. Atrocity will be so good here. What are they looking for? They're looking for an answer. Because we know that the opponent... They just drew another card though, so we have to be a little bit careful about that. We can opt the Conchologist. I still think it's probably better to keep this Vengeance in case of the opponent gets another Shuffle. Opponent already committed double Twisted Fate. The Puff Caps actually have done quite a bit of damage as well. Bye-bye Haste Spike. No, decides to go for the Hungry Owlcat? Okay. Something tells me I should keep my Vengeance mana. So something's telling me here to keep my Vengeance mana. I did discard one of the opponent's Mind Melts, but they could have easily gotten another one. I think I'm gonna go like this. Just gonna push the damage in. We could play this Hungry Owlcat. Oh heck no. Yeah, I'm gonna kill that Shuffle. That Burblefish. I'm gonna kill it anyways. I really don't want this guy to get bigger than that. I'm scared of the elusives, right? Even if the opponent has another Mind Meld, it doesn't matter unless it's an elusive. I let them get the group show value off. That's okay. That was my mistake, right? We could have done it on the Aloof Travelers. So that one is definitely on me. We still have the Vengeance, right? So I'm not in an impossible situation. Opponent doesn't get the Tentacle value off. And then we can start setting up the impact. Am I afraid of dying here? 5? 5, Trinket Trade. If I had done the Haste Spike last turn, I would have been in a much better spot. Because I could have played the Tristana right away and have an additional health, and potentially something else, like another keyboard. I think we can just land the Tristana down right now. Opponent's gonna have to have a way to remove the Tristana. Alright. Let's go Grandfather Fae here. We have multiple Owlcats, and the opponent can literally just die through the impact alone. So the opponent will die just through the impact alone. I don't think they have anything that can really stop this. I guess it's... and we have Atrocity now, so definitely they don't anymore. Yeah, they definitely don't have a way to answer this anymore, right? That's the problem with this deck. He has a lot of like cheap stuff that doesn't really have an impact removal. I guess it could have a stun, but then the stun loses to the Atrocity potentially. This is still 4 damage here. They have to block everything.
Easy does it.
I'm actually committed on the Owlcat, right? If the opponent commits a stun here, I think it's probably better to do the Atrocity in the Owlcat. Since he has Spell Shield. And he's still doing 4 damage, right? Yeah, opponent only has 1 card left. So I think it's always correct to do like this. Just in case that they have a way to actually kill that Tristana. This means that I'm doing the 4 here, and then I'm doing 1 from one of my impacts, guarantee. And that's the game. A little bit longer than it needed to be, just because the opponent just has a lot of value. But again, the Buster Shots helps out a lot at killing the Shelly. If we don't kill the Shelly early, opponent will have gotten such a big advantage over us. So just... In this matchup, we're going against not Quackup, playing Norra Veigar. This matchup should be a little bit important for us. I kind of like the Mayor. I kind of like the double Mayor. Right? We need to play the Grandfather Fae just so that we actually have Tristana go up to 4. To go over 4 so that we play on Aquaitas. So we can play Grandfather Fade. If the opponent has access to their Catalyzer, then that's a problem. I still like the Grandfather Fade here, right? Again, the idea is that we make... Yeah, of course they have it. The idea is that we make the Tristana be a 2 out of 3. That way we don't have to worry about the opponent having access to... I guess we go Mayor first. He sucks, right? It sucks that the opponent gets to catalyze the value. But I don't think there's a lot that I can do about it. I think I like the Hungry Owlcat here. Into Tristana next turn. I'm scared of Tristana being at 3 HP. Right? I'm very scared of Tristana being at 3 HP. I'm gonna let them do whatever they want. Pokestick and bow. Because the opponent could technically have access to like what's it called? Ooh. So let's say we go Tristana here first. They can have access to the 4-cost spell that hits everything that gets summoned this turn. The bots. Right? And that would allow them to actually kill Tristana. Which should be a problem. I think I actually prefer the Teemo here so that we have access to Glimpse. We could also go the Grumble Slug, does the same thing, but I like the Teemo because it lets me push damage. Haste Spike? The Haste Spike also does it. That's one consideration why it's better to have waited for Tristana. Yeah, they didn't play on the Spiderling. At least we let the Catalyzer go out of the way. They didn't play it on the Spiderling because obviously if they play on the Spiderling, we punish it with the Pokestick. You're gonna play the second Haste Spike here? Gets rid of my buff? Okay, that's pretty smart. That's pretty smart from them. Unfortunately for the opponent, we got the second Tristana. So we still kind of get some value out of her. The problem is that the opponent could easily have a Veigar and then have the Darkness, which is already at 3. And there's going to be a 4 after the Veigar. And now they also have... Yeah, of course. Of course! Because why wouldn't they have it? I guess we can Puzzling Signpost. In the meantime, we can just go and do this. I think I like the Grumble Slug slightly better than I'll do the Grandfather Fade, just so that we have the mana potentially for the Signpost. The opponent has enough mana to do the thing twice. I think I'm okay blocking with Tristana, because Tristana is going to die to the Darkness anyways. Yeah, I think I'm okay doing it like this. Make it so that the opponent has a harder time. I guess they have regen, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, I forgot about the regen. So I did that for no reason. They have regen and tough. We'll make them and play the Teemo. Again, opponent's gonna just be able to Darkness this. Because it's already at 4, no matter whether we block it or not. I don't even know if it's Signpost anymore, actually. I think I actually like the Tanner. Let the Tristana die. We could have also go Wandering Shepherd on the Teemo and play the Grandfather Fade. I'm gonna just Pokestick this right now and force the opponent to have their own Pokestick or a Bile Feast to kill this Teemo. The double Haste Spike was a big deal, right? It did deny my Glimpse. If you have a group shot, Pokestick, Bile Feast, you can go ahead and get the Teemo. But that means that we still push damage with everything else. And at this point, I just want to push damage and set up for an Atrocity later into the game. We have a second Teemo anyways. Alright. Which one? I guess, yeah, you choose to kill this one because you can block this one. You push 2, 5, 6, 7. You go down to 11. That's the Pokestick. If we did the Wandering Shepherd, the Teemo could have stayed alive. Which probably was better off, to be honest. Like, if we did Wandering Shepherd and Grandfather Fade, it was probably slightly better, but we can just do the same thing. Opponent would have... I guess opponent still would have had value from Pokestick. Just in a different spot. We can try to fill the board here. They get blockers. They get blockers here. We can go Mayor. That's a lot of Grandfather Phase. Is that correct? You know what? I'm gonna say that it is. I'm gonna say that it is, and I'm gonna go here. We can play Teemo into Wandering Shepherd.
Prepared for anything.
If the opponent kills the Teemo, then we can play Grandfather Fae. If they don't kill the Teemo, then we have the Shepherd. I like this, gives me the additional health. We open attack, hope that the opponent doesn't get any portals, and then deal with the sample. I have the samples as a backup. And try to keep refilling my board. Even if we lose our board, we can keep refilling it. Yeah, I mean, we'll have to take the damage. I'm not gonna make the same mistake that I forgot about the regen like I did last turn, right? I have to just hope that the opponent doesn't get the portals. But even if they get the portals, I think I'm in a good spot. We do have the signpost. That also gets me a draw. And now we look for Atrocity. Come on, no portals, no portals. Or not a second Portapalooza, at least, either. Wow, they get both portals. That's great. That's great for them. That's absolutely amazing for them. I wonder if the open is even correct because they got both portals out. Wow. Ah, they always have it. Oh, they had a Portapalooza anyways. They're gonna get another portal? Come on. Come on. Really, game? Really? That's amazing. That's amazing. I don't think this... I don't even know if this signpost is actually the play anymore. I'm very scared of its Tally Sentinel, allowing them to be able to heal up. They also get this minion back, which is a little bit annoying. I think I still drop the Tristana down. I think I still drop the Tristana down.
To the mountain.
I start refilling my board. Okay, we lose the signpost. So we lose the sign. Oh wait, we don't even lose the signpost. The opponent was trying to hit the Atrocity. The opponent was trying to hit the Atrocity. So they didn't hit it that time. We have the signpost still, which protects us. We can start giving everything impact. We can start giving everything impact that's gonna have spell shield, right? That's probably the best way to do it. Actually, I probably just played all the Outcats. Ah, that's, wow. We can group shot our own unit if the opponent has the Stally. If the opponent plays the 7-drop here, I guess that's a problem. The Ajor, the Descend the Ada, right? Descend the Ada into darkness. Because even if we recall the darkness, it's gonna still be 0. No. It's, yeah, still cost 0. I've done this before. I've done this before. Yeah, that's, if we recall that Descend the Ada, it still costs 0, by the way. Don't let yourself get fooled by that. So yeah, now we just lose, right? Because we don't have any impact. We should have saved the Tristana for after the Descend Ada came down. Yeah, we should have saved that until after the Descend Ada came down. We can go like this, and then we can play another. If we waited correctly, we would actually have lethal, Tristana, and the signpost, and the Outcats. That's unfortunate. I mean, I knew they had the Descend the Ada, right? Like, it's very obvious from the start. If I waited for the Tristana, because I could have played this Grandfather Fade. It's something that we just did now. I could have played the Grandfather Fade. Then I could have played Tristana and just had like a ton of blockers. But now it's like, doesn't matter what I do, it's still gonna be enough. I guess I would have been one off, right? Because opponent could have had a way to deal with Tristana. Yeah, I would have been one off because I would have had one less impact. I would have only been at 3. So, but then I went with a Poke Stick instead of just the signpost. And I also had the signpost to be like a vengeance. Ah, that's unfortunate. There's no out here unless I get exactly... Nope, even if I get the Atrocity, it's not enough. I guess I can do the Amulet into the Atrocity. Yeah, if I'm gonna play for the Atrocity, then I should probably go Amulet. Go here. That way Atrocity can actually win the game there. So you see the Atrocity or bust. Alright. Do I let them play the Darkness first? So we have Atrocity and Spell Shield. And then we have the Signpost to stop like a vengeance. That's unfortunate. If we pass first... I mean, regardless, I'm going to have to be the one to play the Atrocity first, right? I'm giving them an extra mana if I pass. I'm also giving them the chance of getting another Aloof. So I think I just have to slap it. I have to just slap it. Because I don't want to have them... I don't want to give them the chance of an Aloof Travelers to destroy my Atrocity. Because they could just pass back, right? And then just open attack first, which still forces me to use it first. It has to be... We have to be able to bounce back this vengeance, right? So we go like this. And we actually found the lethal, even though we play like Pepegas this game. We literally play like Pepegas this game. I guess opponent could still have Biofeast and Pokestick. If they have exactly 2 spells, it's still enough. If they had removed the spell shield last time, they actually would have won the game. Wow, we actually won this game even after playing like trash. Again, the play had to be to save Tristana until after the Death and the Ada came out, right? That would have forced the opponent to have to react to my lethal attack here instead of what we had to do instead. We got saved by the Toxic Atrocity, but sometimes that's how card games go. So, GG's. In this matchup, we're going against Ornn Fizz. Okay, so this is going to be just like a all-in Fizz type of deck. If it's gonna be all in Fizz, do we even bother with like the removal stuff? Like, shouldn't we just try to get Atrocity and try to like rush them down faster? Buster Shot is fine, I guess. We can go... Which is better? I think I like the Grandfather Fay, right? It gives me a 1-cost unit that I can play Mayor plus the 1-cost. Yeah. Forgot about Liberian being a thing in this deck. I have gone against Fizz Bandle before. I should have remembered about this being a thing. Do I let them get the spell? Let them get the spell, that's fine. We're gonna play Mayor into Owlcat, and then Tristana into... I kind of prefer the Mecha Caster. I think I actually prefer the Mecha Caster. The second Grandfather Fate is interesting, but I think the Mecha Caster is better. Because he's gonna be pushing a lot of pressure on the opponent. We can go Owlcat. It's gonna make even our Grandfather Fay actually be a threat. Here we can play Tristana and then play the Grumble Slug, and still have enough mana to play Buster Shot because it's gonna cost 2 mana. So now I'm forcing the opponent to have to have something. I guess they have it, but I can get rid of the Shepherd, right? Question is, do we attack with Tristana? I guess. Like, it seems kind of risky to attack with Tristana here. Oh, opponent's just gonna go for the Overwhelm. So, okay, so if they're gonna go like this, I think we just go for the Liberian. Because the opponent decided to go for the Overwhelm, I'm gonna force him to have another spell here. So now I'm forcing him to have another spell here. Okay, Inner Beast. And then we can still attack with everything else. Except for the Grandfather Fate, because he's just gonna get blocked by the Shepherd. If you want to block and give me that Fate, if you want to give me that Liberian, I'm okay with that. I guess I should have attacked with the Grandfather Fate as well, because they probably don't want to give me this, right? But if they have Troll Shan, they can kill Tristana anyways. So, like, if they have the Troll Shan, they still have a good trade. Yeah, they're actually gonna just do this. So then they're just gonna get punished by these, they're just gonna get punished by this Mecha Caster, right? Heck, we can even just go stun first. I mean, I don't even want to play the stun. I feel like I always have... I feel like I'm never concerned about this Liberian for me to even play the stun. We can also just go double Buster Shot. Okay, now that he got healed up, I guess the double Buster Shot doesn't matter. They're gonna push 8 damage here, plus another 4, that's gonna be 12. We can go Mecha Caster first, level up Tristana, play the... We can instead use the Wallop as an offensive tool. And I think that's actually slightly better. If we use the Wallop as an offensive tool, that's slightly better.
I will be
if you're gonna attack like that, I'm not... No, because then I'm losing to the Poke Stick, right? I'm losing to the Poke Stick if I block with this Mecha. I think I let them have their thing. We play the minion, we have stun plus Wallop, plus this. I guess it doesn't matter which we do it, because no matter what, we don't want to play the other one. So I think I prefer the minion, maybe? I guess this gets bigger, because it's going to have an additional... Yeah, this gets bigger, it's going to have an additional plus... No, it's the same. It would have gotten the plus 3, yeah. So there we go, they get the Fizz. We're going to put the Wallop here. We're going to put the Wallop here. Now, it's forcing me that if I don't win this turn, I just lose, right? If I don't win this turn, I just lose. And it's not difficult for the opponent to be able to come back. I might actually play the Buster Shot on the Fizz. Force the opponent to have to use the spell now before we actually attack. So I'm going to assume that the opponent has no other units that can actually block. So I'm just going to play the Buster Shot here. If you have the freeze, you do the freeze. Because if they have a freeze, it means that we can actually attack both my units back up with the Mecha Caster. If they lose the Fizz, then they lose another blocker. So they're forced to use a spell here. We don't have another... I guess we do play Vengeance, so we do have another way to deal with... We could also get the Atrocity, so we have Vengeance. Even if we don't win this turn, we do have 2 outs. We have Vengeance and Atrocity to stop the Liberian. We don't have as much impact triggers as I would like. So where's your freeze? Are you going to use your freeze now? Again, it's tough, right? Because if they use the freeze, it's just going to be a Poke. Okay, so they still have access to Harsh Winds. So they still have access to Harsh Winds or 3 Sisters, both of which are really good in this card. So I think I cannot play around it, obviously. The good thing is that if the opponent goes for Harsh Winds, we still deal enough damage that Atrocity wins us the game. So they go Harsh Winds here, stop this too. 3 Sisters is not enough? Actually, no, it's not enough because you do exactly 13. If it's just a Flash Freeze, it's not enough because it's going to be 5 plus 9 plus 3 is 12 plus 1 from the impact. So it has to be exactly Harsh Winds or Bust. I guess it could also be Unforgiving Cold because the opponent did play an equipment. So Harsh Winds or Unforgiving Cold is the only out that the opponent has. Nothing else gets them there. That's not enough. That is not enough. That's going to be exactly 13. And we got there. And this is the game that took us to Master. Literally exactly. Yeah. GG's. Wow. I think forcing that Poke Stick out of them might have actually made a difference, right? Because it taps them out of like... I guess if they had a Troll Shot, it was always better to play the Troll Shot. But wow. What a way to get lethal. Exactly 13. GG's opponent. And there we go. We get the Masters. Wow. That was a good game. That was a great game. In this match, we're going to get Zoe and Aphelios. Oh, this is a great draw. I kind of don't hate going wide with the Howlcats, because I don't think this deck is going to have a lot of ways to... I guess they could play Rabin. They are Freljord. We have 2 options. We can group shot the Zoe, or we can just play Teemo. And I think it's gonna be just playing Teemo. Now the only downside here is that the opponent can have an Esmus, so I think I have to open attack with the Teemo. I don't think I wait. I don't think I guess I don't play the Grandfather Fate first, right? If the opponent has an Esmus, it could be a little bit annoying. So I think we just open, push the damage, and push the Shrooms, and there's the Esmus. That also got a tower. It's like we knew exactly what's gonna happen, huh? To play the Wandering Shepherd, if the opponent doesn't open attack, we play the Wandering Shepherd. If they open attack, then we just take this damage. If that's the case, I'm just gonna go second Grandfather Fate and just make my Owlcats as big as possible so that the opponent has to be forced to block them. We now have a group shot that's killing one of their units. We take a Shroom. We go here. Oh, that's a great one. Could also be the Pan of Pain though, but I kind of like the Shepherd's Authority. It really makes this team a big threat that the opponent has to sacrifice with their Esmus. We can play second Owlcat or we can play the group shot. I'm still debating which one is better. Yeah, I'm still debating which one is better here. Not having an elusive blocker could come to bite me, right? Because now we have a way to block the Zoe. Let's do Blessing. That's not gonna do much for you. Okay, so we attack with everything. If the opponent decides to block with Aphelios, we can put the group shot on the stack at the same time and just kill the Aphelios. The only thing that we don't attack with is the Grandfather Fae. Because if we attack with the Grandfather Fae, I think we're just gonna be taking damage for no reason. Opponent could have like a Pell Cascade. No, they don't. Okay, so yeah, they are gonna block with the Aphelios. We go here. Let's just get the Aphelios out of the way. They do get to keep the Esmus and a blocker, but they're taking another 4 from Teemo here. And if they keep taking that much damage from Teemo, eventually I'm gonna just set up my Atrocity, right? I think I like the Aloof here. Second Grandfather. Maybe better to just go Grandfather Fae again. Calibro? Oh, Lifesteal? Okay, so the opponent gets to heal a little bit. That's cute. Yeah, let's go Grandfather Fae. Let's just go full board. Yeah, let's just go full board here. I know you're gonna have a lot of value with this guy. He's gonna get bigger. Sure, you're pushing extra damage. We're gonna go here again. Aloof Travelers or Shepherd? Nope, it's just gonna be Tristana. And then we can play Shepherd actually. We can play the Shepherd on the Tristana and replace this Grandfather Fae. Potentially give Tristana the Overwhelm. The problem is how much damage I'm taking next turn, right? It's gonna be 5 stits so far, guaranteed. Opponent has to block with the Esmus though. I guess they don't if I attack with the Grandfather Fae. I mean, they're gonna have to deal with Tristana, so they have to have a freeze to begin with. Maybe it's actually better to put the Shepherd on the Grandfather Fae, so that all my units are like strong enough to push damage. No, I think if I get the Scout or the Overwhelm, I'm better off putting on Tristana. Force the opponent to have the freeze. Which they will most likely anyways. I think, man, like this is tough. So I would like to spread out my damage. But it's also interesting whether I should do it on Tristana or put it on itself or the Grandfather Fae. Either way. Sunburst. Okay. So if that's the case, let's just go here then. Let's just spread our damage this way. Yeah, let's just spread our damage this way. I don't think it matters if we go Overwhelm. Actually, the Overwhelm was probably better in case that we draw a second Tristana. Right? So if we draw a second Tristana, the Overwhelm will have been better. You want to let the Teemo level up? No, because he can easily block there. They have to block with Zoe, right? There's no way that they don't. So now it's back to Atrocity. Opponent could potentially beat us next turn because we don't have an elusive blocker. 3, 5, 6. If they have something that's 4 power, they do get there. They could also just have the buff to get to that point. We don't get a good draw to be able to actually beat them. Still don't have the Atrocity either. Atrocity wouldn't beat the game anyways. If they have a buff here and they can get these guys to have an additional 4 power, they win the game. If you're just gonna go like that, I just pass, right? So we go here.
I dropped everything.
Destiny's Call. Wow, that would have been a very big elusive, I'm not gonna lie. That would have been a very big elusive. It's ever the mayor. You know, I don't hate the mayor, right? It does let me discount stuff. Problem is that we don't get to take advantage of the discount this turn. If I let them have a... I think I have to just let them have the next blocker. I think I have to just go here. I have another Destiny's Call. I have to let them have the blocker. I have to let them have the blocker. Because at this point it's all about... Oh, you made it easy for me now, right? Don't we just win now then? Do we even need the aloof anymore? Opponent just drew 2 Shrooms for us, right? So now they literally just lost the game for themselves by drawing more. Those Teemo hits added up, right? Like that's the thing about this deck, that people underestimate how much Teemo can actually add up. So GG's. In this match, we're going against Zoe Kayle. So it's gonna be elusive. So it's gonna be really a race here. It's gonna be a race. As much as I love this whole hand, I think I need to have some more early units, right? Especially Tristana. That way we can actually raise them down and push a lot of damage with our impact triggers. Because I'm gonna be forcing it to block with Tristana every time. The Quietus and the Pokestick are not bad though, right? We're able to actually Quietus the Zoe here if we need to, for example. Which I think is worth it. Now, it's probably better to have saved the Quietus for the Esmos, but I don't want to deal with that, really don't want to deal with the whatever the opponent gets from that Zoe. Our hand is a little bit awkward though. We're gonna go ahead and Pokestick right now. That way we don't give the opponent a chance to have access to Pelt Cascade next turn. Here we go. Might actually go ahead with the Mayor first. Or we can just block this, right? Oh, even better, we get Scout with it? Cool. So we get the Scout. Yeah, I might just block this instead. Just protect myself from the 4 damage. We get the Scout for later. Still a little bit weird because I mean we don't have the board to actually like do what we want to do, right? I might actually pass and play this Buster Shot before the opponent can play anything else to protect it. Oh, okay, they have the Spam's Protection. So I get punished because of that Buster Shot, while also not getting a lot of value from it. If we do a second one, we're gonna be in the same spot, so I think I'm just gonna go here first. I'm gonna go like this first. Opponent can have access to Pale, so that's a problem. If I let them do this, it's gonna be another problem. I think we go commit the Buster Shot again. Now that it costs 2. Forcing to use the Pale here. If they don't, then they don't get the lifesteal there. They cannot play the Amulet again because they already played it this turn. So all I'm doing is getting hit by the Shade Stalker and the... Or at least I prevent the lifesteal. At least I prevent the lifesteal, which is better than nothing. We can play Mayor, we can play Shepherd. We have the stun for later. I love the Aloof Travelers. I love the Aloof Travelers because he lets me draw. I like the Shepherd so that we have access to Group Shot to kill the Technician, the Acorn. Unless the opponent decides to give it a Fearsome right now. Okay, so by doing it that way, it lets me commit the Group Shot first before the opponent can play the Fearsome on it. Cool. And then we can go here. We can go for impact, right? Get another impact. This is still gonna go all the way up to 4. Opponent could have Pale Cascade, but then that puts the Shade Stalker at 1. Oh, opponent's gonna go like this. We attack with everything because if the opponent blocks with the Shade Stalker, it means that he sets it up for the Poke Stick to kill it. And I think we're in a good spot here. I think we're in a good spot. We can, like I said, we can Poke Stick the Shade Stalker. Opponent does have access to the Lodestone here. This Tristana is going to be in a really good spot. I might actually Poke Stick the Zoe if the opponent... Okay, well, if the opponent goes like that, then that's okay. It's a little bit annoying, right? Because the opponent could transfer over. So it's actually better for me to just wallop. But I also don't want to wallop now. Maybe I just let them actually get the Zoe spell off. Let's go here. We can still do both. We can still stun plus Poke Stick. Hell. So we can actually easily now go like this. And I still also go here. Opponent doesn't get the Zoe value. They are gonna push 6, 8 damage. Unless we sacrifice the Grandfather Fade, which I might be okay with, to be honest. I might be okay sacrificing this Grandfather Fade. Wow, they decide... Oh, they couldn't, because if... No, if they attack with Kayle, she would have gone to 5. But she doesn't have quick attack, so she would have sacrificed herself into my Tristana. I see why they did it that way. Go here. I do need to watch out now for the Horasi. The opponent does have enough to play Horasi next turn, which is a big deal. We can go for Loop Travelers first. See what we hit. Kayle's Judgment. That's a good hit. That's a huge hit. That's actually a huge hit. And we also have access to kill their Zoe, which is another great hit because we have the group shot. They lose the Esmus. We kill the Zoe. When it has 1 less blocker, forced to block with everything, including Kayle. And then we can haste spike, right? And there we go. Could they have survived here? I don't even know if this was lethal yet, but the opponent will have to sacrifice all their units, including their elusive, which is probably the reason why they just surrendered. Because then if they lose their elusive, they're in a bad spot. So GG's. Hey, welcome back, everybody. Hope you enjoyed today's games. Honestly, we went up and down, up and down. We had some games where I feel like I played it really cleanly. And then we had some games like that game against Quaco, where we just got baited out by the top deck Atrocity. We played horribly. Like, again, the best play in that game would have been to wait until after the Desert Ada to play the second Tristana and then play all the Owlcats so that they all get impact, because the opponent was already so low that having Spell Shield and impact would have been the way for us to kind of finish up that game against the opponent. But at the end of the day, we did get baited out by the Atrocity. So sometimes that's just how the cookie crumbles, right? Sometimes that's just how it goes, and it happens. Aside from that, though, I think the other games were pretty clean. You kind of get the idea here. You kind of just swarm the opponent's board, put a lot of pressure against them, to the point that the opponent really has to sacrifice their blockers, or is not able to really get the game plan that they want going, because you can just continue getting good trades against their units. And the benches can come in really clutch against certain big units that you need to deal with right away. So that's why we also kind of enjoy the Shadow House, access to Atrocity and the benches. In terms of mulligan, I definitely want to look for the Major and Tristana. Those are the best 2 cards that you can get. But Grandfather Fade and Teemo are also really good. You kind of see how the Teemo shrooms can add up, right? So Tristana for sure, Mayor, Grandfather Fade, priority number 2, and then Teemo, priority number 3. So if you already have Tristana, you can start keeping the Mayor and the Grandfather Fade. Otherwise, you probably want to look for Tristana first, or some of your other like swarmy cards to begin the game with. And honestly, the minion can be really cool too. It's cool too if you are trying to go against like aggro. If you have like kind of like an aggro hand, that way you always have a unit that you can play. But sometimes the minion is better off to just get later as well in the game, so that your hand doesn't get too bundled up with too many units and too many minions. In terms of other strategies that I can say with this deck, is like really, it's all about knowing what the opponent could have to answer your Atrocity. You kind of saw against Quaco how important samples can also be to actually allow your Atrocity to go through, because you're able to negate the opponent's vengeance, or the way for them to be able to actually deal with the Tristana. So just gonna keep that in mind. Sometimes keeping Atrocity and samples can be really good. Otherwise, just push your damage, and eventually you get them low enough for your swarming board to even take over from there. I think that's all I have for today, really. I hope you enjoyed today's games and today's climb to master. If you did, make sure to like the video below and subscribe to us. We post a lot of videos every single day. You can also find us on Twitch at Sirturmund. We stream every now and then, and you can also find us on Discord and Twitter. The links to those are both in the description below. Thank you so much for watching all, and I'll see you again tomorrow.